Hey,
Well, how are you?
good, good. How you doing
Good.
this evening?
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Glad to be alive another day.
Oh, what you say?
Yes, ma'am. So
Mm-hmm.
I guess we will hit the hot topic button of the yeah. Don't do it. Talk about what it's like to be black in America.
Man, yeah, that's like the hottest topic going on right now. Unfortunately, man, so much to say about that.
Yeah.
So much to say. So much to say. Where do we begin?
Hmm. Well, I would just want to say that I'm glad that they got Mr. Floyd resting in peace,
Mm-hmm.
got him buried, and we just get the proper justice that is deserving for him because 8 minutes and 46 seconds of tragedy. It's as a mother of a black son that hasn't set well with me at all. I watched it and it brought tears to my eyes because in my mind I put faces, I pictured his face as well as so many other black men in my life, and it could have been any one of them. And anybody that watched it, it didn't matter what race you were. If you had any type of soul, any conscience, or anything, it did something to you. And I think that's where we're at right now. Is we're in a situation where people have grown tired, I guess you should say, of what's going on, and it has crossed barrier lines because I think with you know people that are not black, they didn't realize how bad things were for us. Now they get it. They really kind of get where we're at and what we're so angry for, and they're angry now. And so we do have some form of allies out here. Now, if we can continue to have our allies with us, we can turn this around and make it be something great. And we can end this cycle of foolishness because we've had over 400 years, of course, of us living terribly in this world. And maybe with all this going on in the world, you know, it can stop. I had a conversation with my mom, and my mom will be 70 tomorrow, and never in her, almost 70 years of living, she's never been through a pandemic or anything where it's a pandemic and we've had protesting and things going on. And one thing that she said, God is tired. And that stuck. And we're religious people, and when you see when someone says God is tired, God is angry, God is this, it's something that needs to be done. So how do you feel about that, Tasha? Like when my mom says God is tired, from your knowledge, from your religious standpoint on it.
Um, I mean, as a leader in ministry, it's it's a very hard topic to approach It's a very harsh reality, even when you are a believer in God. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, we have sons. We have 2 sons. I'm married to a black man. My father is black. My brother is black. So is my brother-in-law. You know, um, we're people of faith. And like, even for me, as strong as I am in my faith, um, I've still had moments of insecurity over the past 2 weeks. I've had moments of anxiety despite my faith over the last 2 weeks. I mean, like last Tuesday, you know, I I couldn't even be at peace. Like, my husband works downtown near Deep Ellum, in the midst of the place where a lot of riots, not well, I wouldn't say rioting, because I wouldn't call it rioting, where people were instigating in the midst of protesting, creating a ruckus, and people vandalizing, shops and looting and things like that down in that area. And you know like all I could do was just like, God, please, our oldest son, his graduation is Sunday. And it's like, God, how far we've seen our baby fight to get to this graduation. God, please protect him, keep him, don't allow him to get in trouble, don't allow nothing to happen. You know, right here at this moment that, my husband have waited to see, that our son has waited to see, that his birth mother has waited to see, that me, his siblings, his grandparents, that we waited to see, people have prayed for. Even my husband going to and from work, like, I called him Tuesday, it may have been, it was Tuesday or Wednesday, last week. And I was just like, I called him and I'm like, I couldn't even, and I'm not really, I'm not real soft. I can kind of deal with a lot and not really break me down. But like, I called my husband because I was just like, so I wasn't okay. Like, I'm sorry, I wasn't okay. I was afraid for my husband, afraid for my children. My father, he travels. He usually travels, uh, via the airline. But like, he's in a place where when he returns back to work, he's going to be driving. He spends a lot of time in Little Rock, Arkansas. He spends a lot of time in these towns where it's like, no, you don't want to get caught driving through some of these places you have to drive through while you black. You don't want to get caught driving while black in some of these places where I know my father has to travel, and like, no, like, it hit me so hard, and I'm usually a strong person. I'm usually the person that when somebody else got problems, they come and they talking to me or whatever. But like last week, no, early last week, like, and my thing is, like, I hadn't been watching the news. I hadn't been on social media very much, but it's like, like, I had to literally like tell my husband one day, like, please don't, like, I don't want to talk about it because it is just weighing on me so much, and it's, I trust God and I believe God can do anything. And I don't know how to feel about the statement that God is tired, but I know what the Bible says about, in the Old Testament, it talks about how God heard the cries of his people from the earth. You know what I'm saying? Crying, calling on him to rescue them out of bondage. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
and they cried long enough. They cried loud enough. They cried sincerely enough. They got together and they all cried out. And then he heard them. And so my thing is like, you know, I don't know if he's tired or not, but I know he's listening. You understand what I'm saying? And the thing about it is that, you know, how you were saying, you know, how now we have allies that, you know, see what we go through. Well, my thing is, why should it take the image? Why should it take 8 minutes, why should it take almost 10 minutes of a Black man down on the ground in the clutches of a Caucasian police officer with his hand on his hip with such pride, almost as if, I mean, like when I saw it, like I can't stand to see the image, because every time I see it, it looks to me the same way a hunter would look with his prize deer, taking a photo. And that was somebody's father. A father, a son, a brother, an uncle, somebody's co-worker, somebody's neighbor, somebody's employee. Like, why should it take that? Why should it take the body of a human being captured on film, like a prize kill? Why should it take that for us to have people in our corner? Why should it take that? Why? I have a problem with that. Like, I have questions, even for the people that have shown their support. You know, one of our children wanted to go to a protest, and we went. And it was just I'm so sorry. I'm usually like, you know, I'm not usually this emotional. But
this is hard.
It's very hard. I'm saying we avoided it last week. We avoided this conversation last week. But yeah. I mean, it's like, it was very encouraging to see Asian people, Hispanic people, Indian people, Muslim people, Black people, Caucasian people. It was amazing to see all of these different people, you know, gay people, transgender people. It was awesome to see all of these people, male, female. They brought their animals out, you know, people with their pets, people with their babies, you know, children of all ages. That's cool. It's fine. It was like, I mean, it was a diverse crowd.
Yeah.
You know? And my thing is, though, I still have questions. Like, how did you arrive to this point to support, you know, people of color? And when I say people of color, I don't mean just Black people, because, you know, it's some Hispanic brothers and sisters, they going through it too. You know?
Yep.
It's people that families have been ripped apart, children is being detained. You know, if I knew one of my children, you know, my children was somewhere thrown in like a concentration camp or some crap, while I'm separated from them, I don't know who's taking care of them. I don't know how they're being fed. That's not right either. But my thing is, how did you arrive to the conclusion that, okay, let me stand up now? Why did it take that? Why did it take that 8 minutes and 40 some odd seconds? Why did it take that before you stood in solidarity? Why? Why did it take that? Before your compassion came alive. And that's not to say we're not grateful, because people that we march next to, we're having conversations. I'm so glad I came, and I told them, I'm glad you came. I'm so glad you came too. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Because I know what it's like. I haven't experienced police brutality, but I've experienced racism right here in my city that I live in right now. I remember coming to Garland. I remember having a gun pointed out, a shotgun pointed out the window of a truck, calling me the N word and the B word, telling us to go back to Africa when we moved into the neighborhood. This little kids outside playing. I remember. That stuff don't go away. I remember growing up and, having a friend that stayed across the street, a Caucasian friend that stayed across the street from me. And it was all good for us to play together until we went to high school. I didn't realize that her mother would be sneaking me over to play during the times when her husband wasn't home. It wasn't until I got a little bit older that I realized what the game really was. Dad was a racist. Mom knew it wasn't right. But she still wanted to let her child have a friend. But when we got to high school, everything changed over that summer from 8th grade to 9th grade. And after that, it was no more, hey, how you doing? It was you see me across the street waving, and it's like, you turn around like I don't exist. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I didn't forget what that felt like. I'm an adult now. It's not cool. And so my thing is like, why now? Why now? We're not saying take your support back. I'm not saying that to say any of that. And I'm not saying that all non-people of color are that way or have been that way. They're just not jumping on the boat. I'm not saying that, because you and I both know we have worked with some great people that were not people of color, some great Caucasian people, some great officers that were not people of color, that made sure that we were protected while we were on our jobs, that made sure that we were okay, that didn't treat us, with impartiality because of the color of our skin. And we have had some that have. You know what I'm saying? And so, I don't know. I have that question. Why now? We're glad you came, but what took you so long? That's my question.
And honestly, Tasha, I will say this, and I could be wrong, but I'll say it. I believe that they didn't think it was as bad as it was, because it was being swept under the carpet so long. It was out there. We've seen it happen. But I think you hear about it, but you never seen it visually with your own two eyes. And you would hear about it because it wasn't recorded. Now we're in the day and age where everything is being documented and recorded. And now you get to see, it's not just after the fact, because you can hear about it and it doesn't hit as home. But if you have to visually watch it, 8 minutes of watching someone cry for their mama and beg for their life, it hits different. And I'm not saying it's right, but I think what it took for them to really know what we went through, they had to see that, because they only had the stories, and it was always, well, what if this happened? Or what if that happened? Well, did they not cooperate with the police? Maybe they did this. Maybe that was this way. Because
What
even
about Philando Castile? What about him?
we saw
People
it.
seeing that. People heard that. So my thing is, I'm talking about what. So I'm just saying, I get it, but I can't buy into that. What
Yeah.
took so?
Yeah.
That's why I have questions. What took so long? It was plenty caught on video before this 8 minutes.
This
It was
8 minutes.
plenty caught on camera. What
And
about
I get,
Sandra Bland? What
yeah.
on camera? So I'm just
There.
saying, come on.
Yeah.
What? It's been years. What about bodies hanging from trees?
That meant nothing.
When
Because you
when
just
when
seen a
when our
picture.
parents and grandparents was coming along?
You just seen a picture. It was in a book. And people, hey, Tasha, I'm that 1,000% behind you. And I'm understanding because we done lived this. What, I'll be 43 next year. I've been dealing with
I'll
this.
be 41 this year.
Yeah, and we've been dealing and hearing the stories and living the life and knowing about it. But when I say until you see it like they saw it through the eyes that we seen it, it was no surprise for us. It was sad. It was very sad, and it was very wrong. But for us, for them, they visually saw something that we've been seeing forever. And I just never, I think out of sight, out of mind. But you can't get this out your sight because it's
Man, that's a
something
deadly
about,
vice right there. Out of sight, out of mind. That's like one of the deadliest vices.
yeah, but this is a vision of this brother that as long as I have the right mind to remember and everything else, I'll never forget this because it hit me in my soul in a way that I ain't never been hit in my soul. And I am a very caring and compassionate person, but that is so many faces that I visualized on him that it did something to me. It just made me feel like this could be my son, my dad, my brother, my friends, your husband, your sons, anybody I know. It's like I see everybody's face flashing and it sucks the life out of me because no one deserves to die face down on the ground like a dog. Cause that's pretty. It was like you don't even treat animals that way.
I mean,
And
and a person that did something cruel to an animal would receive more punishment than a
right,
person that took the life of a black man.
yeah. Michael Vick had them dogs. I don't know what he did. I don't know what he did with them or whatever. But you would have thought he had killed 45 people. He was a serial killer.
I'm
And
trying
he
to
should
tell you.
pay. He should pay. Oh, with some dogs. Now I ain't saying dogs,
We
or
got
less
black
than
men up here getting killed in their own home while they eating ice cream, chilling, watching
yeah.
TV. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Now
seriously, like, we're not even safe in our own homes. We're not safe
no,
there. I mean, mm,
no,
it's just
we're
not
not.
okay.
And I think just this was the final straw because we tried marching. We done tried and tried to be peaceful. We done tried to hold our Black Lives Matter signs up and be peaceful. And I think enough was enough. And it this was the straw that broke the camel's back. And these people have erupted and they want what we've been asking for so many years to be equal, to have the same God given rights that they say we have, but we don't. We just want a little bit of what you have.
We
We
just
know,
want to be considered human.
yes,
It's like that mentality that we're not human. Like, as slavery, I mean, during slavery, we were considered property. When slavery was abolished, then we lost the value that even being property had. And we became lower than animals.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In the eyes of the country,
yeah,
we're only as good for what we can provide
right. And we ain't even good because
for
half the
somebody else to gain off of.
yeah, and half the stuff we invented and provided was taken away from us. They claimed that. So at the end of the day, we still don't have all of our rightful things that we should have. We just want to be equal. We want to be treated the same. And now they've opened Pandora's box. And now they realize, hey, because we became more educated, we became more knowledgeable, and we're not accepting. Because I think the mentality, even with the civil rights movement, we want to change, but we accept it so much
Right.
with the change. And I feel like now they're not accepting. They want
Oh, and
their
people are using their
rightful seat.
voices now.
Yeah,
You know,
they want their rightful seat at the table. They do. And it's nothing wrong with that. And even with everything that's going on, what they're looting, what they're rioting, but
but who's starting it?
they're not looking at the fact.
Majority. Who's starting it? Because I'm like, seriously, like I said, I haven't watched much TV. I haven't watched much of the media. You know what I'm saying? Here and there, sporadically. But more than I'm seeing people of color committing terroristic acts during this time.
Yeah.
I'm seeing other people. I'm
Yeah.
seeing Caucasian people.
Yeah.
And I don't, hey, everybody in my family is not a person of color. So I don't want to come across, because I'm very emotional right now. This is a sore one for me. So, I don't want to come across as angry Black woman, but I mean, really, I am upset. I'm angry. I am. And as a woman of God, the Bible doesn't say that the harm is in being angry. The Bible says to be angry and sin not. So, for those that might see this, she's supposed to be Christian, but she mad. Yeah, I am a Christian and I am upset. That does not take away from my Christianity because I'm upset. But, I'm not a subscriber to that idea that all white people are bad and all police are bad. I don't subscribe to that. And that's one thing that I had a problem with seeing at the protest that I participated in, last week, was that people had these signs that all cops are bad cops. That's not true. But the people that had those signs were not Black people like me, which I appreciate your, solidarity and support. However, that to me, I'm even leery of those people. I'm leery of those people that subscribe to the idea that all cops are bad cops. No, bad cops are bad cops, not all cops. And, because I've worked with some police officers that were not bad. I've had people in the legal system that have been, that I found favor with, that have been good to me, that have, treated me well. I have had people that I fellowship with that were part of law enforcement, that were not bad people, that were not bad cops, that did their jobs with integrity. And so the same way that I feel about the stereotypes that Black people have been labeled with, The same way I feel about stereotypes that Hispanic people have been labeled with wrongly. You know, those false things that hold no truth. You know, things that labels that people are just placed on groups of people because of their own personal dysfunction that they're dealing with, that they're in denial about. I feel the same way about saying that all cops are bad cops. You know, I don't feel like our cities should be funding you know, corrupt systems. I think that there should be something in place. You know, there's got to be accountability somewhere. So, you know, to completely defund the police departments, I'm not in agreement with that either. But we need to tear down some dysfunction and then start over and rebuild on a foundation of integrity and accountability in this country. But the thing about it is, we have so much corruption in high places. So much corruption in high places. You know, the head of our country, and I'm not here to bash the president. I pray for the Joker every day, you know, but that does not take away from the fact that, no, you're operating in deceit, lies. You're constantly putting out malice. You're constantly putting out lies. You're constantly putting out deception. You're constantly, you know, gaslighting, and you know, you're just doing all kinds of stuff. And the thing about it is that you took an oath when you came into this office. You took an oath, and you're operating contrary to the oath that you took on a grand scale. And my thing is, it's not time for, oh, I'm so sorry. No, we don't need apologies, you know, and even talk about reparations. I don't even care about no freaking reparations. You know what I'm saying? What's due us is due us, whether we get it or not. It doesn't negate the fact that, hey, it was some promises made that fell through, period, point blank. Don't erase that part from the history books. Put it in there. Don't erase that from the history books. Keep it in there. Don't burn the books that have that truth. Keep it in there. You know, but no, it's not time for apologies. Let's be sincere and repentant and change our ways. And not just black, not just white people. That's all people. All people. All people groups. All people groups. Be sincere. Face your ugly truth. Focus on the areas of dysfunction in your life. Harm, trauma, pain, things that you have endured, things that have been passed down to you from generation to generation that is not even your stuff, but you still acting on it. Things that you haven't even experienced in your lifetime, but because mama did and daddy did, you still operating in the same dysfunction. It's time to acknowledge it. And let's be better as a whole, because this right here is a bunch of, like, it's crap to me. Like, seriously, like, no. I'm glad that we're finally operating in a place of more unity than I've ever seen in my lifetime. But it's like, seriously? Like, didn't enough people die in the 60s? Didn't enough people die in the 1800s? Didn't enough people die centuries and centuries and centuries ago? Didn't enough people die before we got here? Like, how much bloodshed? And not just our people. What about all the Native Americans that died?
Yeah.
What about them? What about their blood still stains this soil? We may have built buildings on top of it. We may have paved roads on top of it, but it's still blood on this soil. Yeah. So that's the thing. That's why why now? Why now? Why did it take this much?
It's a very good question. And just to piggyback off a little bit of what you said about police officers and are not all bad, I had this conversation with my best friend because her brother is a police officer. And, trying to explain that, you have children or whatever, and, she's wanting her brother to be safe because he's having to be out here and all of this. And, you know, I told her, your brother is not bad. And people that know him aren't going to view him as a bad person. And the reason why, they know him. They know his character. They know who he is. They know he would not be that type of person. With that being said, all police officers aren't bad. They just have the job. What's bad is the people that put on a uniform. Their character is flawed. They have no integrity. They have no morals. They don't have what it takes, but they just so happen to get a job where they have a little bit of control, more control than we have as individuals, and they take advantage of that power. But that's those individuals. We can't say all police are bad, but we could say all those individuals that have acted in that manner and done things that are wrong are bad because there is definitive proof of what they've done.
Right.
So with that being said, when you say no, all police, that's a generalized statement, just like they say all black people steal,
Right.
all black people are trouble, all black people are this. No, that's a generalized statement again. So what we need to do is, if Tommy is bad, Tommy is bad. If
And
Ray
that
Ray,
doesn't make every Tommy bad. Just
yeah, no,
Tommy that did wrong.
yeah, Tommy, whatever Tommy's full government is, that Tommy is bad. And if Ray Ray did this, that makes him bad because that's what Ray, that person did. And what we need to do is stop putting everybody in one big melting pot and single out these people that are bad and get rid of them. Like, get them off the police force. If you have the amount of complaints as this officer had, how in the HE double hockey sticks, I'm gonna try to keep it PG, how did he
Yeah.
make it this far? This far. And what that says to me, the people that are over him did not give a crap. It was okay. They okayed that. So what they are getting, there's a cause and effect. There's a action, there's a reaction. Now you got to deal with it. Now all your chickens have come home to roost, I think is what they say.
I've
Is that it?
never heard that one before, so I don't know.
Oh yeah, I'm country. I'm super country. Basically all your sins is before God and everybody around surrounding God. And now you got to answer for them. You ain't ready for that truth. And I don't care if they said that George Floyd walked out that store. He had just robbed that store. And he walked out, and it still gave that man no right to do what he done, because what he should have done is handcuff him, put him in that car, take him to jail, let him go through the system and do what the system is supposed to do. No, you decided that you, I don't even want to say his
And not
name.
just him, they.
Yeah,
They.
let me,
They.
and
Because the thing about it is, if I go steal a car and I come to Louisville and pick you up and we get pulled over in Denton County, guess what? You didn't steal the car in Garland with me. But when we got pulled over in Denton, you're an accomplice. You're an accessory to my crime. So
Yeah.
you going down too.
Yeah. And I ain't got to them yet, honey. And he decided that he was the judge, the jury, and the executioner. And his little cohorts that stood out there, oh, well, they was afraid of him. If you that scared and you got a
How
baton, a
many weapons you have on you? How many weapons you have on deck?
yes, and you could knock him down off of that man with a baton, and it's more than one of y'all. You couldn't pull a gun on him and tell him, "Hey, get off of him." Just like y'all take the guns and give us the warning and shoot to kill after the fact. Why didn't he have that same? Because he was committing a crime. He was committing a
Definitely.
crime
Definitely.
when he was on his neck murdering this dude. What part is did y'all not feel like y'all needed to say something? And
And then nobody, it was a failure to render aid. Once you realize this man was unconscious,
yeah,
where the chest compressions at?
none.
Well, I mean, who checked his pulse? And my thing is, I don't know if any of this went down because honestly, I can't watch the video. I have not watched that full video. I probably did not watch more than 50 seconds of the video. The still image alone messed me up.
I took myself and I watched it because I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
I can't.
But they did not render aid, and I do not believe that the people that picked him up, the alleged EMT, the alleged EMTs, EMS, paramedics, whatever they are, with bulletproof vests on, but we're gonna leave that where it be. Just watch the video.
I can't.
Fast forward till they pick him up, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But anywho, that's another story for another time. But they didn't, because normally as trained, we both trained as EMTs, and we both know when you get to the scene, you get the setup, you check the pulse, you do it, and you immediately start.
Immediately, if you can't do anything else, chest compressions, immediately.
And you hook up the AED and do all of that stuff. None of that was done. They loaded him up onto the gurney and rolled him on into the back of the EMS. And even on TV shows, and you know that ain't real because we see so many. I watch a lot of medical shows, and you be like,
"Nah, a lot of errors. That ain't what they doing."
At least they got that part right. They go to the scene and check everything. They didn't do any of this. And the guys that sat out there with him, that was standing around looking, the cowards, I feel like they deserve more time than the man that done it. Because if you could sit there with no conscience and watch something
and
like
not
that
intervene
happen and not do anything, not step up, not take that. Hey, if you was that scared of him, that you couldn't do anything, you don't deserve to wear a badge. You don't even deserve to breathe air with the rest of us common people. And I know that sounds wrong, but I don't think that if I was a police officer and I had a gun, a taser, and a baton, and probably a backup weapon, that I'm gonna just sit there and watch you do something that's wrong.
I would have just, you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. If I would have had taken an assault charge, then I would have just rushed dude. Like, no, get up off of him, bro. Like, no. Internal affairs gonna have to deal with me. I'm gonna have to take my reprimand when we get back, but I'm tasing you something. We can't do this. Yeah, we can't do this. I couldn't have been there with a no. Like, how can you, if you have brothers, sisters, father, friends, something, people that you care about, like how, like no. I would try to treat people how I would treat me and mine. You know?
Yeah.
Like, no.
I'll say this is, and I'm just a regular old Joe Blow, but I can pretty much say I've never been one that can follow in with wrong. Like, you can do, there's certain, like, if you're doing something that's I don't agree with, that's fine. I can get away from you. But if I see you blatantly doing something that's so wrong that the cause of your wrong gonna hurt somebody, I ain't gonna be able to sit there and watch that, because that's gonna be on my conscience, and I can't
Right.
live with stuff like that. So I would have had to act, and whatever happened happened. Hey, if we would have had to square up on the scene out there, that's what would have happened.
Right.
We just had to square
Something,
up. Yeah, I would have lost my
something,
job. Anything.
something besides that. Like, no, I'm not about to be an accessory to a murder on this job. Like, no, no, I'm
And
not going to be
then,
your accomplice.
but then, if your excuse is you were afraid of him, then you don't need to wear that badge in the
You
first place.
got a radio. Hey,
All of
we
it.
need some backup, y'all. I'm scared out here in these streets. Something, something.
And if you that afraid, that raises questions. So y'all got it's three other officers that's deathly afraid of violence. You in the wrong
From
profession.
this other
You,
officer. Okay, first of all, I'm just trying to understand, like, what's the defense? What are they afraid of? Their fellow officer, Mr.
yeah,
Chauvin?
that's what
They was afraid of him?
don't utter his name. We ain't even gonna get his name life. I don't even want to say his old
Like,
name.
what? Okay, so, but my thing is, like, okay, well, okay, so do not do police do law enforcement organizations, do they not have EEO?
Apparently, they don't
I
have
mean,
nothing.
if you feel threatened by another employee, if you got somebody that's on the job that's making you feel unsafe or in danger by their actions or their treatment of you, like you don't have a right to report it. You don't have an ethical code that you know take on when you enter into that job to say, hey, if it's not right, we need to speak out about it. So that means to me, if your fellow officer is out there stealing, which is a
Yeah.
crime,
Mm-hmm.
if your fellow officer is out there vandalizing property, which is a crime,
Yeah.
you just gonna be like, okay, dude, this what's up. You gonna play lookout and be okay with that? You know,
And if you don't have
what?
the ethical part, because I mean, in any job, even ours,
Mm-mm.
we have to take them class that training every
Right.
of what's right and what's wrong on the job. And
Ethics,
yeah, ethics, and I'm pretty sure.
diversity training.
Mm, yes, all of that. And you don't have it as officers, which you would feel like they need more diversity and ethics training, because they go through a lot of things where they're tested. There's drug money out there, you can steal that. Drugs, you can steal that. You can steal, burglaries. Hey, you go in there and get you an old TV or a blender or whatever, put in the back of your truck because, hey, who gonna know? They already robbed. But I mean, there's all types of scenarios where they're tested, and I feel like in that line of work, they should have more training than the regular average Joe on what to do and what not to do.
Right.
But at the end of the day, if these are the people that you are hiring, that says a lot for the hiring committee and the higher up. So basically, you're hiring. Are you a coward? Yes. Okay, you hired. Just fine. We just gonna give you this good. You just stand out here and do whatever. And I'm sorry, at the end of the day, that ain't gonna cut it. And that is why they are so under fire, because just in Minnesota, in Minneapolis alone, this is like they third or fourth death by the hands of the police.
Mm,
Third or fourth. Excuse me.
ridiculous.
And that's one city. And so that says there's no accountability, there's no training Oh, excuse me.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I just think when I took this water down the wrong way. There's no accountability. There's no training. There's no plans in place for them to fix the problem because they know that there's a problem there. I know that they do.
Right.
Uh,
But
they
we're
didn't have
okay with
any.
being jacked up in America, I guess. I don't.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
because at the end of the day, they felt like they could get away with it,
No.
and that's what
You get
it
away
boils
for a
down.
little while, baby, but baby, some demons they'll hunt you forever.
Yep. And now this is where we're at.
Yeah, and that's terrible. What was I gonna ask you about? Oh God, it was something. I don't know. It's really sad, you know. But you know, all I can do is continue praying. You know, and my thing is like I'm not just praying for black people. I'm not just praying for the people that's supporting black people. I'm supporting I'm not supporting, but I'm praying for the white people too. I'm praying for them too. I'm praying for the racists that they will have a change of heart. That they, you know what I'm saying? Like I remember the day of this incident, you know, making breaking news. I hadn't even really realized what was going. I didn't realize what the deal was until after I had come back home from the grocery store. Because, like I said, I had not been really watching any TV. I've been keeping my TV. You know, if it's not playing, you know, worship music or something that the kids are watching, I hadn't really been watching anything. Hadn't been listening to the radio outside of whatever I'm playing on my YouTube music. So I went to the grocery store in Rowlett. And I'm walking around the Aldi like, man, what's all these people? You know, and so, you know, it's not very many um black people in the store. I think there were maybe two other black women that I encountered in the store. Three, actually. It was me and three other black ladies in the store that I can remember. But I remember all the Caucasian people in the store. I remember that the looks on their faces, the concern, every person that I saw looked, I remember how afraid they looked, how terrified they looked, how sad so many looked. The looks of pity on the faces of so many of them, men and women of different ages. And my thing is like, okay, so now you see, you know, and some of them, hey, it could have been a look of hatred on some faces, a look of delight and pride on some faces. But I remember the thing that I saw the most was fear, anxiety, and pity. Fear and pity. It felt like such a disruption of peace in the atmosphere. And I didn't even know what had happened until late that night. Late that night. I really didn't even recognize, oh my God, until the next morning when I saw the part of the video that I watched. Somebody, you know, sent it to me and I was like, oh, and it's like, it just took my breath away. And I'm like, oh, no, no, no. And like, it felt like the wind was knocked out of me. And immediately I felt so bad because I could identify with the fear that those people were looking at me with. Not fear because they thought, oh, I'm gonna do something wrong, but fear because, oh my God, This has happened, and there is about to be so much unrest because of this incident. I can imagine, okay, so what it's like when we mess up, when one of us do something and it's like, oh God, people already think this or think that. Now what? I didn't even do anything, but now people gonna be looking at me crazy because this one group of people did this or did that. I could identify with that. Like, say, for instance, when the DC snipers got caught up, and it was like, oh God, it's some brothers, oh Lord.
Yes.
Oh. That fear of, oh God, I hope don't nobody think that my dad. The same way, I'm pretty sure a lot of people of Indian descent or Muslim people felt after 9/11. Oh, I'm not a terrorist. Just because they did that, oh my God, people are going, I'm scared for my life because how are they going to react because what these people did?
Yeah.
It's not, and I'm not going to say it. I'll say it to you in the sidebar. I'm not going to say it on here, but it's like, that's sad, but that's the truth. And that's the reality that so many people have been living for so long on the club.
Yep.
That living in fear like that doesn't feel good.
And imagine we've been living like that all our life.
You know what I'm saying? For hundreds of years, as a race of people, our ancestors, imagine the fear they felt being stolen from their land, stolen from their family, stolen from all that they knew. Join the club.
Yep.
And welcome welcome to Black America. But the thing about it that I love about our people is that we're so resilient. You know what I'm saying? And even though we're angry, and even though we're upset, the majority of us, despite how we feel on the inside, we still not moved to hate you. We still have compassion. We still have compassion. We might not want to fuck with you too much, but we still have compassion. We still have compassion. We still will give an opportunity for you to show us who you are as individuals and not just throw you all in the same basket. Throw everybody in the same category because, oh, well, your hair is red. So no, your eyes are blue. No, your hair is blonde. No, we still don't hate. We may not like, but we still have enough love to not hate. Even if it's just a little bit, we still have enough compassion to see what you're about. And then we're the type of people that our strength is our love. Our love is our strength. Our love is our strength. So it doesn't really, you know what I'm saying? It hurts. We endure a lot of hurtful things, a lot of harmful things. I remember the first time my son, you know what I'm saying? I witnessed my son experiencing racism. My son was like 7 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Walking in the IHOP and the lady snatched her car keys like, okay, this little bitty boy gonna snatch her. First of all, he can't reach the steering wheel and the gas pedal at the same time, idiot. Like, seriously, like, where is he gonna steal your car and go in it? Like, we're leaving this restaurant. But that's a whole nother something. But the thing about it is, like, we still don't the same. We're not one to reciprocate the same thing that we've been receiving forever.
Yeah.
That's not even our position at this point as a majority. Now there are some that are like, you know, fully with, you know what I'm saying? Hey, no, all the way. Ain't no love. Is for some. But the majority, we don't even want to we don't even have a heart to reduce ourselves to that level of hatred and bigotry. We have too much integrity for that. Too much pride in who we are for that. Because that's not where we came from. It's not our heritage.
And our race of people, Black people, we're the most accepting and forgiving race. We accept all. We forgive. And people say, well, why do you say forgiving? We forgave y'all for all that bad treatment we done dealt with, and we still give y'all a chance. And we still get kicked in our shins, and we still keep going. And that's the one thing that I'll say about us. If we would have gave up on that race of people or any race of people, ain't no telling where we'd be. Because hey, y'all done stole us. Come on now.
Stole us, brought us to a stolen country
that y'all stole from somebody else. Y'all just.
And that's the thing. If we're gonna rewrite history, rewrite that part. Quit telling that story. Is it too late to indict Columbus? I'm just saying. Can we get some charges?
We're gonna dig him up if we can find him.
Can we get some charges? You know what I'm saying? There's statute of limitations for like stealing a country. You know,
yeah.
Is there a statute of limitations for that?
Yeah. Good luck with that one. I think we just
that's just I'm that you know me. But I'm just saying though. I'm just saying. Like, seriously, we want to get to a root of the problem. We really got to acknowledge the fact that, okay, this country was established on injustice.
Yeah.
Established. The foundation for the country that we now live in was laid in injustice. Injustice was the foundation.
So what do you think is going to continue to keep happening? Hey, it started with injustice.
Well, all I can say is we are not our ancestors.
Yeah.
Period.
Oh, they are finding out.
That's all I have to say on that. I'm done. I'm done with it on that. We are not our ancestors.
And all I got to say,
our ancestors and then some.
You hear? Oh, they're finding that out now.
We're the strength. We're the strength of our ancestors, and then some. That's it.
Yes, agreed. And I guess what we need to realize is once the smoke clears and it's all said and done, we need to realize that we need to respect each other. And if we do respect each other, you know how far we can go and how well that America could be. Because right now, we ain't nothing but a laughing stock.
Seriously.
To other countries, because the things that we are going through, they don't have that nowhere.
Right.
And, we will be so much stronger if we unite. But
Yes.
it has been instilled,
Hmm.
it has been instilled in us to not do that. And, you know, that's what we had. That's the reason why we in the situation we in now. We in an uproar,
Right.
outrage, and they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And you kind of brought this on yourself, because you actually encouraged division. It's been encouraged for years. And so now you have a situation where I don't know if people are uniting for the fear of if we do divide, what's going to happen? Or are they coming together with us and showing unity because they actually do care? Because at
Right.
the end of the day, hey, if you're gonna
The
be
truth
on,
is gonna rise. It always does.
it does, and you're right about that. And I think I sat here and I thought about it. I think when my mom says God is tired, just when I was listening to you talk, he preached for us to get along and to be as one. And we haven't been that way in so long. And I think he's tired of that.
Mhm.
And he's raising, and sometimes you got to tear down what is built to rebuild
Right.
something great.
Right.
And unfortunately, this may be what this is all about, where we can actually tear down this BS, this just corruption, just the racism area, and build a stronger place. I mean, I don't know. Maybe
Well,
that's what she meant when she say he's tired of the division, because we're not, people are
right.
not living their faith. They being reckless out here. They doing all this, and maybe he tired, and this will be what will get you closer to him, because we need him right now.
Right. And the only thing I could
And if
say,
you
oh, I'm sorry.
no, I was just gonna say, if you don't think he that we don't need him, you're gonna soon find out.
I'm trying to tell you. You know, and then the thing too is even for those of us that don't subscribe to the same faith, if I could say anything to every person in America right now, if I could say something that will reach everybody, look in your history books. Not not the lies, but just look back over different civilizations throughout history. The thing that caused great civilizations to fail, the repetitive cycle that caused great civilizations of people, great nations of people to fail, regardless of their success, regardless of their wealth, regardless of all of that, who they worshiped, how they worshiped. The thing that brought them to their demise, the one thing that is a repetitive cycle throughout history, it does not matter what part of the earth, is fighting amongst themselves.
Mm,
Division has been the root that brought down every great nation,
yep.
every great civilization of people fighting amongst themselves. Division, not operating in unity. Whether they were disagreeing about government, whether they were disagreeing about religion, whether they were disagreeing about trade, division amongst themselves.
Yep.
That is what America needs to pay attention to collectively. Americans need to stop fighting Americans. Americans as a whole need to find a common ground and stand in unity on it. But racism, no, 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 no. That is going to make or break America. Not finance, not the coronavirus, none of that. Americans fighting against Americans. Americans fighting Americans. That is what's going to be the greatest downfall of this nation if we are not careful. If I could say, if that, look back through history. Throw politics out the window. Forget about politics for a moment. Forget about gun law for a moment. Forget about wealth versus poverty for a moment. Forget about black and brown. Forget about black and white. Forget about red and yellow. Forget about color for just a moment. And think back through history. Usually, what led each great civilization that collapsed, that became no more, that were wiped out? What was their downfall? What led them to their downfall? Their downfall may have been, hey, we just had a war, but what led them to war? What was the thing that dismantled their military, that weakened their military forces? What was the thing that weakened their power? Fighting amongst themselves. We gotta stop doing that, America. Period. We gotta stop.
Period.
It's self-sabotage. And everybody is guilty.
Yeah.
Everybody is guilty. Regardless of, in the church, it's the Baptists against the Kojic, the Catholics against the whatever. It ruins whatever you're trying to do. Republicans against Republicans. Okay, well, now the Republican Party falling apart. Democrats against Democrats. But now the Democratic Party falling apart.
Yeah.
So, wake up, everybody. Got to find some common ground.
Yeah.
And even if the only common ground we can find is, hey, this is not working. So, the only common ground we can find is, hey, something is wrong and we got to fix it. Let's start there.
That is definitely a start.
And I'm like my granny, nothing beats a failure but a try. Let's try, guys. Let's try to find some common ground somewhere, so that we do not self-destruct, because that's what we're doing as a whole in America. As American citizens, we are self-destructing because of our dysfunction, because of the division. There's no unity anywhere.
Yeah. And you got to think about that when the dysfunction and the division starts with our leadership, we bound to fail. We need to rethink that, because I've never, in all of my years, I've never seen such leadership so horrible. That's the only thing that I could say. Like, and I don't want to bash, but I've never seen a leader. There may be, of course, you got the Republicans, you got the Democrats, they got to have a side, because whatever. But one thing that they always did when a tragedy came along, or like we're in this pandemic and all of this, they always came together. All right. And it's almost like he's pretty much condoning division. Like you said, he's fine with it. So when you got someone at the top that's supposed to be the leader of the free world, basically saying it's okay for y'all to fight, bicker, and argue amongst yourselves, because I'm doing it. I'm gonna lie, I'm gonna be deceitful, I'm gonna do all of this stuff. What do
Now,
you
would
think?
you say that he's doing more, being more deceptive, or is it just more open? Is it just more open? You know what I'm saying? Because everybody doesn't show their buffoonery
Well, hey, and
on such
that's
an open forum. But some
yeah,
people, hey, I mean, some are just more
yeah.
confident than others.
And I think that he didn't get the memo that a lot of our parents said, uh, you better act right in front of company. You can
Don't get
show out.
nowhere, show out.
Yeah, you can show out at home all day long, but you better
Better
not
not
get.
show out in public.
Yeah,
Oh,
you better
Lord.
in front of company and in public and act up. And I think that he didn't get the memo. He just said show out. And I'm not saying that any of the other presidents were without fault. I mean, they all done some faulty mess.
Right.
But you've never seen someone so brazen, so blatant with it. Like it's just like, I wake up, what can I do today that I didn't do yesterday that would top what I did? And I honestly, that's what I really think that's what he does. It's like he wakes up like a little child and say, yeah, I did this yesterday and it was fun, but let's see if I can top that. And that's almost sad because you don't even care
It
about
ain't almost sad. It is sad.
yeah
It is sad. It's
the
just as
level.
sad. It's just as sad as that man or woman that is, so spaced out on drugs and they think they still got it and they look at toe down and they don't even know. And they're still trying to flaunt it like they got it. It's that
Yes,
sad. It's that kind of sad.
yeah,
You're still trying to flirt and for what?
yes, that
And
that part.
ain't nothing looking good no more. What you
Not
flirting for? You know?
yeah. And so I think until we get someone in power, that's leading us that has some sort of integrity, some couth. I guess just say that because you know when uh, when we're in such a state because we're in chaos right now. He's supposed to
Absolute.
reassure us. We're not even getting reassurance. He acting like, oh, the unemployment rate is down. George Floyd is to be looking down and saying that I'm doing an amazing job. No, how about George Floyd is thinking about, I wish I was still alive. I would like to see my children again. You worried about, think he really thinking about you? You're that arrogant to think that this, out of all the things that he could look down and think about, he thought about you?
Mm.
That So with that being said, we need someone that can act like they have the sense that they was born with, like old people say, because he don't have it. I think
Well, I don't know
somewhere
what the man got. Like I said, I just keep. I don't know what he got, but I just know he needs much prayer. That's all I
yeah,
know.
he
He needs a
will.
lot of prayer. And my thing is, I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to badmouth anybody.
Mm-mm.
You know, I don't want to badmouth nobody. I want to, the same integrity that I came on here with. I'm gonna leave here with it. But right is right, wrong is wrong. And I think, it's just time to do the right thing. I should have wore my T-shirt today.
Yeah,
I need. Listen, if I have on that black and white T-shirt, that do the right thing T-shirt on every single one of these until America get in line, don't judge me. That's the
listen,
only
come
message.
on.
That's the only message that I'm trying to put out there in this season. Do the right thing. Do the right thing. Come on, stop. Do the right thing. Do what's right. Do
Yeah,
what's wrong. Do the right thing. Do what's right. Everybody,
yeah,
myself included. You know what I'm saying? As bad as I feel like lashing out, and I could go there. I could go there.
yeah.
I could say a whole lot, but I'm not gonna say. I'm just, I don't even allow my thoughts to wander there. I just be like, Lord Jesus, 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 Lord. Don't let please God, if you could shut up folks' mouth back in the Bible days, you can shut up people's mouth in 2020. God, you know. Lord, if you could cause the coronavirus to shut the earth down, Lord, send something to shut down Twitter to keep some of these tweets from going on.
Girl.
You know, some of this foolishness to quit going out in the atmosphere. But, you know, God knows. You know, that's all I know. But I don't know. I just pray, just continue to pray for, you know, those that I love, those that love me, those that are my enemies, those that hate me, whatever. I just continue to pray for everybody because we all need it. And I pray that we're all better and that we, you know, that we don't continue to stay in our dysfunction. And there may be some that continue to operate the same way. But I pray that those of us that want to that want to operate with integrity and you know, operate in a way that's not going to be harmful to our well-being as a nation. I pray that we become the majority and that we do not remain the minority. You know, and when I say minority, I don't mean race of people. I mean people that's going to stand up for good and not stand for evil, for the well-being of everybody as a whole. And that's it. That's it. So I don't know.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, girl, we've been on here this a long one. We've been on here 2 hours, I think.
Oh, well, we got a lot. We got a lot covered.
Yeah, good talk. Good talk.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah. And I guess, you know, some of this stuff, these are conversations that we really do need to have, and they need to be more than just a private conversation, you know. And I think that, you know, again, like we said previously, hey, having a conversation, the reason, our motivation for doing this, you know, is even just to have a conversation because, you know, baby, if you go back an hour and about 40 minutes, I was an emotional wreck for a moment. But I think I'm lighter now. You know, I feel better now. And the thing about it is, you know, we got to have some conversations. We got to have, America has to start talking. For too long, people have been silent and just holding things in, not addressing things, hoping that it would be better, hoping that it would change. But we got to talk our way through some of this stuff. We got to talk our way out of this dysfunction. We have to. So I'm grateful for this conversation. I don't know if anybody else that sees this will be grateful, but I'm grateful.
Me too.
Yeah.
I was actually the strong one today because usually I'm the
I
one.
know.
But I had to be strong for you. But sometimes I've already released my tears, so maybe that's why.
Well, girl, I was crying last week. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh my God. I called my husband. I'm like, oh, I'm not okay. Oh my God.
Hey,
I was like way broke down. I was way broke down.
You're human and you're allowed.
He was at work. He was like, it's okay. He was at work and I'm like, I'm just, oh God. Oh, this is not okay. Oh, I was girl snotting and crying and everything that day.
Yeah, but that just shows that you're a human. And you are an emotional being, and that's nothing wrong with that.
This is true.
Nothing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess we let our people go. But
All
you know what?
right.
I do want to say thank you for all the people who have subscribed and watched and commented and
Yes.
said positive things and giving me feedback even through us talking over the phone via conversations. I appreciate it. I do. And
Ooh.
we are on a small platform, but Lord, say the same. It won't be small for long.
Oh
And
God.
you hear, just know you got in the beginning.
Right, right.
Yes.
Well, yes, my sentiments exactly. I'm grateful for those that are supporting us, those that, leave comments, watch, whatever, share with somebody if you feel compelled to. Um, and if you need to have a conversation and you don't have anybody to have a conversation with, and you want us to have a conversation about that thing, send us an email. We will put the email information in the description box of the videos so that it'll be there. But our email is realsisterfriends@gmail.com. realsisterfriends@gmail.com. Don't hesitate to reach out to us. We'll respond, leave a comment on the YouTube page, whatever you want to do, but we can have a conversation. We can have a conversation about it.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, until next time, guys, we'll see ya.
All right. Be blessed.